how people are supposed to determine where they come from, right? This is Numbers 1 and 28. This is Numbers 1, verse 18.
You know you're doing something positive. Be careful. You know what? You don't want to take all that energy inside of you. That wire's too fucking hard to cut. You don't want to tire yourself. You just want to sit back, relax, watch the show end. Right?
Well, that's true. That's true.
Just think positive. Be happy. Look at this. You can look all negative over here. Look at here. Look at this. Look at this over here. Just be grateful what you have.
Absolutely.
You can't change anybody's mind because you're already set.
I'm not trying to change anyone's mind. What I'm doing here is we're gathering the elect. The elect is not up to me to wake them up. I'm just putting the words out here. The Most High is going to wake them up. I don't have control over their mind. You see what I'm saying? The elect is going to hear this regardless. My job is just to push this word out. Just like always in history, when you read the Bible, there's always been prophets that the Heavenly Father set up, right? To deliver those who are going to hear the message. And the ones that are not, they're just going to be destroyed. Simple, right? Like in the days of Noah, Noah had to do what he had to do. But guess what? At the end of the day, no one listened except for him and his family. Right? Over 100 years, bro.
You just celebrate Canada like 150 years. 150 years of slavery.
I'll celebrate that nonsense. Because that's really Edomites, that's really the Edomites holiday. That's not our holiday. You know, that's not our benefit. You know what I'm saying? It was their benefit. The hell with that. You know what I'm saying? What we celebrate is what the scriptures say. But I want to show you something real quick of how you know who a person is. It's always through the father, right? You say your father's Cree also, right? Moab, right? Oh, your father's Cree. So your father, right? So you would be really, if we go back to the ancient.
I don't got much.
All right, brother. That'll be a blessing to you, bro. That'll be a blessing to you, bro. No problem, bro. Go ahead, man. Take it easy, bro.
I'm going to be at House for Jazz.
All right, bro. Take it easy, bro. This is Numbers 1 and verse 18. It says, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day, on the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names from 20 years old and upward by their polls. All right, so the Israelites will always determine who they are, which tribe they come from, based upon their father, man. But Esau, he confuses it, where he tells you, you know, you got to speak about who your mother is, and that's why people are all confused about who they really are. You know, you have a Jake that's like, you know, that's mixed up with something else, and you won't be accepted because they don't think he's of that nation. But as long as your father is an Israelite, you're an Israelite, man. That's all that matters, man. Okay? Your mother is just the incubator, so to speak. All right? She nourishes the seed, but the father is where the seed comes from, man. All right? The seed is living within the father long before it's in the mother. See? And that's all throughout the scriptures, because if not, then that would make King David a Moabite, man. He's quarter Moabite. No, he's not, man. He's 100% Israelite. You understand? Because his grandmother was a Moabite. It was Ruth. But he's still an Israelite from the tribe of Judah. So all that confusion has to be taken out, man. And the true wisdom of the scriptures has to be established, man. You know? That's what we're coming to do. We're coming to enlighten our people about the truth. You know, show them where they went off, enlighten them, teach them. This is Isaiah 58 and verse 1. It says, cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and shew my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sins, man. Alright, so we ain't supposed to be quiet like church mouses, man. You know, sometimes you gotta, sometimes you uplift your voice, man. Nothing wrong with that. Because the scriptures say to uplift your voice, lift up your voice like a trumpet. A trumpet is not silent, you know. And Jake, when you talk to Jake a certain way, sometimes Jake don't want to listen because Jake is hard-headed, as the scripture says, you know. So sometimes you got to get on them hard, man. You know, I was a little rough with that guy because, you know, Jake is hard-headed, man. Jake don't like to listen. That's why the Most High had to keep constantly putting us into captivity, putting us into captivity, putting us into captivity. You know. Because the only thing they understand is when people get rough with it, you know. Proverbs 1. In verse 20, it says, wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets, she crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates, in the city, she uttereth her words, saying, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. And that's what we're coming out to give. We're coming out to give knowledge, man. But the people who despise it, who hate it, really those are the fools that hate knowledge, man. Okay, because only the elect of the Israelites are gonna want to know that. All right, they're the ones who are seeking knowledge from birth anyway. You know, it was really in our spirit from before. It's just the Most High clicked something in us for us to, once we heard the truth, it clicked. All right, we didn't have to have any physical proof or anything. It clicked with us automatically because it was in our spirit, man. All right, we were doing this from before. And it says, turn you out my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. Because I have called and ye refused, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. But ye have set at naught all my counsel and would none of my reproof. All right, so the Israelites, the majority of them, they don't want the reproof of the Lord. Okay, we're coming out here giving them the reproof, but they don't want that. They rather be hear smooth things. Everyone all get along and live in this utopia. That's not gonna happen, man. Don't you get it, man? All right. First of all, Esau has shown you the amount of hatred that he has for you, even up to this day. Okay, and you weren't in the position to do nothing to him. You see? So that's just a natural hatred that Esau has for you. Okay, but you Jakes don't get it, man. The 2/3 of you don't get it, but the elect is gonna understand. And it was really up to us, even in our past life, to do what we're doing now. We were doing the same thing, man. Okay, if we're a prophet in this time, right? We were a prophet back in our past life. Let's get Jeremiah the 5th chapter, because the Most High set us up from before we were born to do this, man. This is Jeremiah, verse 4. It says, then the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee. And I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. So Jeremiah was a prophet before he was born, man. The Most High already knew what he was going to do, just like us, man. All right? The Most High set us up to do this before we were born, man. All right? Because the nation of Israel always needed prophets to get them right, man. Right? The Most High always sent out people to tell them, listen, man, you got to change your ways before the Most High come and destroy you. And that's what we're doing. But the only ones that are going to get it. And that's why the scriptures speak about the foolishness of preaching. Because really it's pointless. The Most High is going to ultimately be the one to wake them up. And he can wake them up anyway right now at a snap of a finger, man. All right? But the reason why he has us out here is basically to prove ourselves to Yahushua. You know? But at the end of the day, the elect is the only ones that are going to get it. And the 2/3 are just going to be destroyed, man. This is Zechariah 13 and verse 8. It says, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the 1/3 shall be left therein. All right? So 2 parts is what? 2/3 of the nation of Israel shall be cut off and die. Right? You know, they're not gonna make it. But the Most High has us out here prophesying to them anyway, because we don't know who's a 2/3 and who's of the elect. It says, and I will bring the 1/3 part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my power, man. And that's what's coming for the elect. You know, the 2/3, that's not going to come for them. Because they're going to have to get wiped out and come back in the reincarnation, man. You see what I'm saying? So the elect is going to get that, man. The elect is going to understand that. You know, but the 2/3 ain't going to be able to get that. Because it wasn't given to them to understand that. You feel me? And it says, matter of fact, let me get let's get Romans the 9th chapter. This is Romans 9, the verse. Start at verse 14. This is it says, "What shall we say then?" No, Salaki. I'll start at verse 4. It says, "Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption, the glory, and the covenants, and the giving of the law, and the service of the Most High, and the promises, whose are the fathers, and of whom concerning the flesh a Mashiach came, who is over all, the Most High blessed forever. Amen. Not as though the word of the Most High had taken none effect, for they are not all Israel, which are of Israel." Okay, which means that all Israelites are not going to understand this, are not going to come to this knowledge. In other words, all right, because 2/3 they're basically living like heathen because they don't have the knowledge and understanding of these scriptures. Right, the elect is going to come and act like Israelites because we are Israelites, you know. But there's an Israel who's the one outwardly, but inwardly they're not. Man, they're heathens. You see what I'm saying? That's the difference. You know? That's the difference between the elect and the 2/3. And ultimately, man, the elect is going to be good, man. The elect is going to be chilling, man. You know, when that time of tribulation comes, the elect is going to be chilling. But the 2/3 are not going to be chilling. The 2/3 are going to be destroyed, man. Okay, when that famine comes, when the famine of the word comes and all that, man, these 2/3 are not going to be able to handle it because the Most High Spirit is not going to be on it. The Most High Spirit is going to be on the elect. Let's get Isaiah 65 and verse 12. It says, therefore, matter of fact, I'll start at verse 11. It says, "But ye are they that forsake the Yahweh." So I can read that again. "But ye are they that forsake Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, that forget my holy mountain, that prepare a table for that troop, and that furnish the drink offering unto that number. Therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter. Because when I called, ye did not answer. When I spake, ye did not hear, but did evil before mine eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not." So that's what the 2/3 did, man. They didn't listen to what the Lord said, man. They did evil before the eyes of the Lord, man. Instead of taking heed to this word, man. Okay? So the Most High said what? He's gonna destroy you. Plain and simple. And what's gonna happen for the elect? Verse 13. "Therefore thus saith the Lord, power, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed." Man, you're gonna be ashamed, man. All right, the Most High is gonna bring shame to the 2/3, man. All right, and glory to the elect. You know. Jeremiah 5:26, it says, "For among my people I found wicked men. They lay wait as he that setteth snares. They set a trap, they catch men." All right, so among Israel there's wickedness among Israel, a lot of wickedness. So the Most High can't bring all of them into the kingdom. That's why he chose a remnant to be delivered. Okay? This is Revelation 7:1. It says, "And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree." Okay, the winds represent the destruction that's about to come. Okay? "And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power, and he cried with a loud voice to the four angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads." Okay? So that's what's going to happen first. The elect has to be sealed before the destruction comes. So the apostle already said that he believes the elect is sealed right now. So that's why you see all these things happening, man. Okay, you look at Venezuela right now. That's basically 2nd Ezra 15th chapter. And that's about to come to America, man. That's about to come to Canada. It's about to come to London, Paris, all these different places. Well, Paris is basically almost a war zone with that protest that's going on, the yellow vests and all that. People are losing limbs and all type of shit. Okay? But that's coming to all these first world countries. All right? And it says, "And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel." So there's the elect of the 144,000, which is the government body of the kingdom of heaven, right? Which will be consist of the prophets if we continue to the end. All right, but then you have the 1/3, right, which is people who might just be believers, people who are helps, people, brothers, families. That all deals with the elect, okay, the 1/3. See. Let's get Ezekiel 9:4. So Ezekiel 9:4 says. Ezekiel 9 verse 4, it says, "And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof." So that's that same mark that it was speaking about in Revelation 7. Okay? The elect is going to have that mark, man. All right? And that mark is going to be an exemption from judgment. See? It's not a physical mark, it's a spiritual mark. And it says, "And to the others he said, In mine hearing, go ye after him through the midst of the city, and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children, and women. But come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary." Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. All right, so every other Israelite who doesn't believe in this, okay, or not part of the elect, they're going to be destroyed. Point blank, period. So not only is Esau going to be destroyed, and the other nations, which really Esau is not going to be utterly destroyed in this time, right? What's going to happen is America is going to be destroyed, and Edomites around the world are going to be destroyed based upon the things that are going to be happening. But there's going to still be a remnant left for slavery. Okay? These Edomites got to pay, man. They're not just going to go all get destroyed like that. Mosai said that they have to go into slavery. Okay? So they're going to survive. Some of them, even especially the elites, they're going to survive so that they can go into captivity. And also these other nations. But Israel, of the Israelites, the only ones that are going to really make it out from here to the kingdom is going to be of the elect, whether it be of the 144,000 or whether it be of the 130. Okay? This is Psalms 137, verse 7. It says, "Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom, the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof, O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed. Happy shall he be that rewarded thee, as thou hast served us." All right, and how have they served us? Right, with captivity, right, with genocide, all that type of stuff that Esau has done. All right, he's gonna have to get rewarded with that. He's gonna get that back. You see what I'm saying? So that includes what? That includes slavery. So we can't, when that in this time, he can't be completely destroyed. You know, a good portion are gonna be destroyed, but the rest is gonna be left with slavery. Right, when the smoke clears. Let's get Revelations 18, start at verse 4. It says, "And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached up to heaven, and the Most High hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill unto her double." And that goes back to what? Jeremiah 49, where it speaks about these Edomites, they're going to drink the cup. Okay? Like I said, man, they can't be completely destroyed in this time. They got to go into slavery first, man. They can't just, just be cut off like that. Nah, man. The Most High is going to make them go through that, make them drink that. As it says in Deuteronomy, they're going to have to drink, they're going to have to get those curses, man. Everything that was written in, besides the wickedness and righteousness, of course, that was written in Deuteronomy 28, that's all going to happen, man. The curses that came to us from Deuteronomy 28 on down, that's going to come on these Edomites. They're going to have to go through that, you see? This is Deuteronomy 28. I'll start at verse 15. And it says, matter of fact, I'll start at 16. It says, "Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy womb, or the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out." So that's all going to come on the Edomites. All right? All those curses are going to transfer to the Edomites. You see? So they have to go through that, man. They can't just, that would be easy, matter of fact, if they were just exterminated. Now that's going to come. Obadiah 1 and 18 is going to come. But that's going to come after they serve their punishment. Right? The other nations are going to be able to live and chill, but the Edomites are going to be completely exterminated. Let me get Obadiah 1 and 18, right? Obadiah 1 and 18, and it says, matter of fact, I started verse 17, "But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And it shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken." So that's it, man. That's the end of Esau and Edom, man. Esau's going to be completely wiped out. Okay? But that's after he serves his judgment. A lot of Israelites don't want that because they look at Esau as, being white, okay? Which is no such thing, man. He's really an Edomite. Alright? They use that as a play on words to make themselves seem holy. Jakes have fallen for that very, very, very much so, man. Okay, to the fact where these Latin tribes, man, they just willingly give their youths to the devil. Jake is kind of like, it's kind of taboo, man. to be dealing with an Edomite and all that amongst Jacob. But amongst the elect tribe, they encourage that shit. You know? So our people have completely, you know, fell into that nonsense. Not knowing that this man is the devil, this man is your enemy, and that the Most High himself hates Esau. How you going to tell your youths to marry somebody that the Most High himself hates? That make no sense. This is Malachi 1:4. It says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build. Slack. Matter of fact, I'll start at verse 2. It says, I have loved you, saith the Lord, yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau. All right, you see, so he hates the Edomites. All right, it's all throughout the scriptures, man. The Most High, he calls them the people of his curse. Matter of fact, I'll get that after. It says, yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Okay? And that's what they did during the Renaissance period. They returned and they built, you know, they came back into power, so to speak. All right? Because during the time of the Roman Empire, we took over. That's why you have a pagan empire, Roman Empire and a Holy Roman Empire. So during that time, the Holy Roman Empire, that's when we took over. All right? Septimius Severus and these different jakes that came into power. Okay? And from that time until like the Renaissance around the 1400s, Esau was on a low level. He's basically a serf in our kingdoms. All right? So this is what it's speaking about, him coming back into power. They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. All right, which means, you know, righteous hatred, man, justifiable hatred. Okay, the Most High's hatred for these Edomites forever, and that's not going to change, man. All right, and that's in the time when we're ruling, when we're over them, we're not going to treat them nice, man. We're going to give them double, and you can't even calculate double, man, of what they've done. All right, you can't even really calculate that, but the Most High can calculate it, and He's going to make sure that we do that, we give them double. You know, Esau has done some pure wickedness to our people, man. And he has to be paid back for that. This is Isaiah 34, in verse 4. It says, and all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heaven shall be rolled together as a scroll. And all of their hosts shall fall down, as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as the fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. So Esau, Idumea, or Edom, is the people of the Lord's curse, man. So the Lord cursed a certain people, right? And how do you identify the people of His curse? Look at the way they look, man. Right? Esau, he has to put on a sunscreen to go out in the sun, man. Right? And a lot of these nations that are mixed with him a lot, they have to put on sunscreen to go out in the sun too. Okay? Why? Because the Most High cursed them. You know? That's not a blessing, man. That's a curse. All right? Because the sun it's not going to leave, man. The sun is here to stay. You understand? That's why He blessed these other nations with melanin. And Esau, He gave him a curse, man. All right? And Esau knows he has a curse on him. Deep down in his spirit. He knows that. He knows the way he looks is not right. That's why he tries to, you know, make other people feel like the way they look is not right. But he knows the way he looks is not right. All right? That's how the devil operates, man. Okay? And that's why we come out with this truth to basically expose the lies, man. And that's what Esau doesn't want you to know. Because the proof that he's trying to hide the truth is the fact that he caused leprosy. You know, when he shows it on TV, you having all these type of boils on your face, all this type of deformation. That's not leprosy according to the Bible. Even when they have even when they have the movies, right, of so-called Jesus, they have the leprosy being people with boils on their face. That's not what leprosy is in the Bible. The Bible clearly states what leprosy is, man. Clearly. It's very clear. There's no confusion of what leprosy is according to the scriptures. So the fact that Esau, tells you it's something different is proving that he's trying to hide the truth. All right? He's trying to hide the truth from the masses. All right? Let's get Numbers, the 12th chapter. At the end of the day, Esau knows what's up. That's why this truth is more dangerous to him than any type of mass shooter or terrorist bomber. That's not a threat to this. That's not a threat to Esau compared to this truth. This is Numbers 12 and verse 9. It says, "And the anger of the Lord was kindled against them, and he departed. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous." So to have leprosy is to have pale skin, according to the Bible. All right? So why don't they teach that? Why don't they have movies about that? Why don't they show that in the Ten Commandments? When Moses put his hand in his bosom, it became pale and put it back out, and it came like his normal flesh. Why don't they show that? Because they have Charlton Heston playing Moses, man, which is a damn Edomite. You know what I'm saying? So of course he's not going to do that, because it wouldn't make sense, right? It wouldn't be a miracle. See? But that's how Esau plays on the minds of the people. Let me read that again. It says, this is Numbers 12, and verse 10. It says, "And the cloud departed from the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous." So there's no confusion in that. Why do they show when they show the movies of so-called Jesus? They show these people with leprosy with all these boils on their face. That's not what leprosy is according to the Bible. It's very clear what leprosy is, man. All right? It's to look the way they look. All right? Let's get Jeremiah 14 and 2. This is Jeremiah 14 verse 2. It says, "Judah mourneth." Judah is the head tribe of the nation of Israel. "Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground, and the cry of Jerusalem is gone up." What does that mean? That means they're dark skinned, man. They have skin like the ground, like the soil. All right, goes from a very dark brown to a light brown. Okay, so that shows you what the true Jews, the real Jews, look like. That's a description.